Hey, here we are once again.
Yeah.
It's Wednesday.
I know. That's something else.
Is it?
Yeah.
We have the same shirt on. Aw, shit.
We do, yeah. Fuck, I didn't realize that.
Matchy.
Yeah.
We didn't coordinate before, so we're
that shit's
just...
fucking... I make so many of
so
them.
dorky.
I got like 3 of these I made, and like 3 Pliskins, and I got a lot of shit. I wear my own clothes.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, you know.
Better than wearing somebody else's
like
clothes.
I said, it's a, you know, we order
Yeah.
shirts like to print them for you guys, and it's like so.
I'm gonna make some stuff for me.
Yeah, we make several of our own.
They're like
as well.
uniforms, like work uniforms.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We saw a movie last night. It was a good one. The thing is, though, is that I missed most of it. I had to cook.
Yeah, he was cooking.
I was cooking that red beans and rice, man. I had ham hocks in there. Fucking, I posted that shit. I didn't post what it looked like when it was done. I should have done that because I made a good bowl again.
Well, you can still take a picture.
I'll take another picture later.
Like when you make that.
Yeah, did
because
this,
we
man.
still have I mean, we have one of those pot. How many gallons is that pot? That's like one of those
10.
big. That's a 10-gallon
Yeah.
big restaurant pot.
Yeah.
He made like a huge that size pot.
No, it's 5 gallons.
Okay, 5 gallons.
Yeah, I mean,
of
not
red
5
beans and
gallons.
rice.
Probably 3. Probably more like 3.
I don't know. It looked
3.
like a lot.
No, it's 3 gallons. Probably about 3.
Because
3 gallons of red beans.
I had a bowl of it yesterday, and I had a bowl of it for lunch today.
Had fucking ham hocks in it, and andouille sausage. That shit was Cajun style.
It's
got that
yummy.
Cajun seasoning in there, and had a nice little fucking bowl for presentation. I was putting the damn packing cups full of rice, and then
putting it so you have the little
rice fucking
the
thing in the
little
middle of the bowl,
rice
and
temple
pouring
in
it
the
around.
middle.
Rice temple. Putting fucking parsley on it and salt and shit. Fuck, it was pretty.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
Oh man, it just fucking tastes great too.
And delicious.
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna
Yeah.
maybe have some more of that later.
Yeah. No. We got that pizza crust.
Oh,
I
you
gotta
got
finish
pizza
up.
dough? Okay,
Yeah, we
so
have
we
pizza
gotta-
tonight.
Yeah, because like I said, if he's gonna cook a bunch of stuff, he'll cook like a couple things like that are
Yeah.
gonna sustain us over the next few days.
Yeah.
So we have so many red beans and rice, and also so much pizza dough and sauce.
Yeah, we don't have to eat all the red beans and rice. I might freeze some of it.
Yeah, because that is kind of
That's
a lot.
of it. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll take me a while to get sick of it because I don't usually
Right.
get sick of that. But
Man, I had it again this morning. I was like, oh man, like, I forgot how good this was. Shoveling that shit in there.
it's even better the second day. I think.
Well, it kind of cures.
Yeah, it kind of
Like Indian food, does the same thing.
Yeah, Indian food is always best like the second or third day.
Third
like,
day.
after you make it.
Third day is really good.
Because it seems like all the spices like
Yeah.
kind of meld all together
Kinda
and shit.
gel.
So yeah, so we were saying that because we always end up talking about food, don't we?
Yeah.
Because you were just kind of like in and out, like watching
Yeah,
the movie, but I sat and watched the whole
I
thing.
gotta see it again, man. It was fucking good.
I really liked this movie.
Had
It's
a
really
good soundtrack.
It's weird because it seems like it's gotten kind of like mixed reviews. Although, you know, the horror media like Rue Morgue magazine and stuff like that, they seem to like really dig it. Which but there was something about this one that I really, really liked, and I can't quite put my finger on what it was. I mean, there was a lot of things, and this actually gave me some really creepy dreams. Which a lot of horror movies don't do. Like, not nightmares necessarily, but they gave me some really unsettling dreams. I can't, like, remember what they were, but they were kind of, like, related to what the movie was.
It had a really good tone, and I liked the acting.
Yeah.
And how the story was going, but I kept having to step out, so I was missing it. Every time I come back, it'd be something fucking weird happen. It's like, what the fuck, it's like, man, it had an '80s vibe.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of kind of like an old school horror version with a lot of practical effects, but like an old school horror version of, say, like Blood Machines.
Yeah.
Imagine if you were going to do that in a horror movie, but not so visual.
Not quite so overt, sure.
Right, but you know what I'm talking about? It was kind of like that same vibe behind it to me.
Yeah, Rue Morgue called it like comic book meets giallo.
Yeah.
With like a new retro way. I mean, the score of this, I love the score of this,
Yeah.
I have to say. And I really, really liked the look of it too. It's called Random Acts of Violence, in case you didn't know. It just dropped on Shudder. It's actually Canadian. It actually premiered at a horror film festival late last year, like I believe in fall of 2019, but it wasn't actually released in Canada until this summer, and then it made its debut in the United States just like less than a week ago on Shudder. Now, what this is, so Random Acts of Violence, I guess, was a comic book that came out in 2010. I don't think it was a series. I think it was just like a standalone comic book or graphic novel. And it was written by Jimmy Palmiotti and Justyn Gray. Now, they apparently had been trying to get a movie version of this graphic novel off the ground since 2011, and they had like all the, you know, screenplay written and everything like that. But for whatever reason, you know, like indie films, you know, money raising and shit like that, it actually didn't get made until recently. But I mean, okay, so the story behind this is that the main character, whose name is Todd, he has written a very successful indie comic called Slasher Man, which has been going, I believe they say in the movie that it's been going for 10 years. And it's actually based on a real killer, the I-90 killer. Now I was thinking, oh, that's a real killer? I was thinking of the I-70 killer. There's so many like highway serial killers that I was like confusing them. So the I-90 killer I don't think is like a real person. That's the I-70 killer, and they caught that guy. But this guy in the universe of the movie is a real serial killer, and his thing was that he would be killing people along this particular stretch of highway, and he would do like really horrible like poses with the bodies, like almost in like an artistic kind of thing. So in the universe of the movie, these are real murders, but this main character Todd has made a career out of doing this Slasher Man comic series based on those real murders. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, so what ends up happening over the course of the thing is like, so it's been 10 years. The comic book has been very successful, but he's like wanting to wrap it up, but he can't get any ideas for the last issue. Like he wants it to be like a big deal. He wants to be meaningful. So he's kind of looking for an angle and he can't really think of anything, like he's, you know, having some writer's block or whatever. So his publisher, Ezra, who's actually played by the director, Jay Baruchel, he suggests, why don't we go on like kind of a press tour, like a little press tour, like a road trip, and we'll go around to all these places where this serial killer used to hunt, and, you know, we'll interview people and shit like that, and maybe you'll be inspired, you know, and we'll do like radio interviews and shit like that along the way to plug your shit and everything. Now, it so happens too that Todd's girlfriend, Kathy, is also writing a book about the I-90 killer, but more from the victim's perspective. Like she wants, like, you know, to tell the victim stories, whereas he's kind of more, so there's not, I don't want to say that the movie has like a message necessarily, but one theme of the movie is that, you know, where do you draw the line between, you know, art and exploitation, and, you know, how much responsibility, say, does an artist have for, you know, inspiring real crimes? That's like something, the movie doesn't come down on either side of the issue or anything, but that's kind of like the thematic thrust that it's like exploring, because when they start out on this journey, like this road trip, the serial killer that Slasher Man is based on has been inactive for many, many years. But when they start going out on this road trip and they start getting some, blowback from these towns where they go to, because a lot of the people, like, you know, he goes to this radio interview in this small town, and the guy who's interviewing him for the radio show knew one of the victims and is like really upset that Todd is making all of this money, as he's seeing it, from exploiting the victims of these crimes and making the killer into the hero, essentially. So that's kind of like, so he's starting to like question, like, what the fuck am I doing, and all this other shit. Now, it so happens that as they start out on this tour, the serial killer, or a copycat, becomes active once again and seems to be following this group and staging these elaborate murders that were drawn in the comic book. You know what I mean? So he starts like following them and, you know, murdering people again, like close to them, like and you don't really, and I don't want to spoil the ending, but like, I guess he's trying to, you know, it's hard to say without like,
I can't comment on this shit because I couldn't see it all, but every time I popped in, man, it was looking fucking really good. And I really liked the score, which gave me a real good... When the score is good, chances are the movie's good. And it's just something I've noticed.
Because it shows that a lot of care was put into the movie, like,
right.
I guess.
It kind of, the vibe I get every time I go in there and fucking see some of it is that it's kind of how I would imagine the dudes who did Blood Machines. What if they tried to make an 80s style fucking horror movie?
Yeah.
But without all those visual effects, just straight, like they were trying to make a fucking, a Carpenter style horror movie or something like that. That's what it kind of seemed like.
Yeah, I really liked...
They knew the genre.
I really liked the visual aesthetic of this movie. Like we said, it's not like super over the top like Blood Machines or anything, but it was kind of like, I loved that a lot of the shots had like this really pretty, like bright green cast, but then there'd be like little glows of like gold and red. So it was almost kind of like, almost like I said, almost like a Giallo movie in the way that it was shot. Like the shots of it was really, really beautiful.
Yeah, and it was not like a horror comedy from the 80s. It was like,
it wasn't funny at all.
Yeah, it was like a serious horror movie from the 80s. Is what it kind of felt like to me. The good part of the 80s, not the bad part of the 80s.
Yeah, this was definitely
Kinda
not a
creepy shit.
Yeah, this was definitely not a comedy. It's very, very violent. It's very, very brutal. Like the crimes are a little bit hard to watch. The practical effects, like the aftermath of this, because this killer, his thing is like these elaborate murder set pieces, like the way he poses these bodies, and sometimes it's multiple bodies, like in these scenes, like he's trying to like make a statement with it.
Yeah, and these little scenes that she's talking about, to me, they reminded me. The ones that I saw, I didn't get to see them all, but the ones that I saw kind of reminded me of the scenes that you would see, like something from fucking Hereditary. Or Heredity.
Hereditary,
is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Remember they do the weird shit with the fucking bodies? It kind of reminded me of
that.
Like
wasn't
that.
in Hereditary.
What was that? Yeah, didn't they have that damn body up on fucking on the, like on a cross, and the head was on fucking backwards?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, see, I know what I'm talking about.
Well, it wasn't. That's not like the first thing that I think of. I think when you think of Hereditary, you think of that like that little girl's head with the ants all over and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about towards the end. You know when they had the shrines,
with the cult and everything.
The shrines, it was kind of like
with
that
the heads. Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
with the piano wire and all that shit.
Right. It just kind of reminded me of that.
It was So it almost kind of reminds me sometimes. Every now and then.
Man, fuck all this.
It actually kind of reminded me too of a little bit like a Silence of the Lambs type thing. Just not necessarily Silence of the Lambs, but maybe I don't know. I guess maybe Manhunter or one of those like Thomas Harris kind of stories with like a killer that would like pose. Would pose them like in an artistic fashion, quote unquote. So the practical effects in this, like the bodies, like when the police like find the bodies and everything like that, is pretty gnarly. So it's really, really well done. Like it really looks super cool. It's kind of like I said, it sort of starts out like, I don't want to say a murder mystery. It kind of starts out sort of like that, but sort of like a slasher. And then it kind of goes in a more like arty psychological direction a little bit toward the end. Just a little bit though. It's not like, super arty farty or anything.
Rebecca's saying it sounds kind of like the television series with fucking Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking of.
I've seen a couple of the episodes. I'd say, yeah, from what I saw, it was a little bit like that.
It is a little bit like that. So I'm thinking in particular of one scene that was like the terrible triptych. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And there's one with like a severed head and shit like that that's really well done. And like I said, it's very violent. It's pretty gory. And it kind of has a lot. Like I said, it doesn't come down on one side of the debate or the other, but it does kind of go a lot into how culpable is this guy that has made a career out of drawing, out of making art out of this dude's real crimes, and kind of fetishizing the victims, fetishizing the killer, and his kind of moral culpability about that. And then also his girlfriend, is she any better because she's writing a book, and even though she's ostensibly trying to focus on the victims, is it any better because she's still like hoping to make money off of the crimes and everything? So I thought it was kind of interesting from that standpoint too, because you could kind of say the same thing about anybody that writes books about true crime, that it's like, you could be said to be like making money, like exploiting the victims and shit like that. But like I said, it's not real. They don't, push either agenda like in the movie. They're just kind of like, that's the theme that's like running throughout it, because this killer is directly killing people and posing them in the way that it was in the comic book, even though he had been killing people ahead of, like, before that too. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like the guy with that drew the comic book was like making him do it. He was doing that prior to that. But it was just like, it was like this weird feedback loop between the killer and the artist. You know what I mean? So I found that aspect like really interesting. So as I said, even though this took a long time to get made, and it seems like it's gotten, fairly mixed reviews. Like some people really seem to have not liked it at all. In more horror themed media, it seems to be getting like better reviews. And like I said, there was something about it that I really, really liked. Like there was just this, I think it was just kind of the perfect combination of like the aesthetic of it and the imagery and the score and the characters. There was just something that just clicked. You know what I mean? And like I said, for a horror movie to make me like dream about it is good, because that doesn't usually happen. Like I said, the last one that did that was Hereditary, and that gave me nightmares for like 2 weeks.
At least the TV didn't turn on.
Yeah, not. It has done it again, but not yesterday.
When did it do it without you telling me?
No, I told you about it, but
Okay.
it was like a few days ago.
Yeah. Okay.
It was a few days ago. I think it came on at 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, something like that.
I was sleeping.
Just one time, yeah.
I wasn't talking.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
All right.
You're just like sleeping and snoring or whatever.
Weird.
I think I told you and I thought you woke up, but you didn't remember afterward.
Right.
So you know what I mean.
Weird.
But yeah, so like I said, if you have Shudder, this is one of the newest ones that they added. I really dug it. Your mileage may vary, of course. Like I said, it's very gory, and it's like pretty brutal and pretty violent. So if that's gonna bother you, but yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was really good. So
Mango's Shudder watching list is getting longer. You got to get to work, dude. Get there and start fucking watching them.
I try.
I know I say all this shit. I got a fucking stack of fucking Blu-rays
we have a
that
huge
big.
stack of movies that we still haven't
know.
got to. But that's the thing. It's like I do try to like watch all the new shit that they post. But I don't always have time to do it. And
when watching movies becomes part of your job, man, it's
well, yeah, because a lot of times it's like, well, I have to find a new one to watch, and then like we have to find old ones like to watch for movie retrospective and stuff. Although that's not usually as hard, because usually that's a movie we've seen before. And it's like, it's not as much of a problem, and we know we're gonna like it because that's why we picked it in the first place.
Yeah.
Oh, I should also
I
add.
want to jump on that heavy metal Blu-ray.
Yeah, we need to get on that too.
Yeah.
We'll
haven't seen that shit in forever.
Yeah, that'll be one of the ones we eventually review. Yeah. I think it's going to be on the first poll, which, like I said, I mentioned it yesterday, but if you're
gotta do a retrospective on that one.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
well,
okay.
it's on the list of the poll.
Okay.
So if you want to see us do heavy metal, like not this Friday but the following Friday, then go vote in the poll like on Friday. Okay. You'll have like all weekend. I think I have it set. The poll will post. This is for the movie retrospective and for episode 212 or whatever the one is after this Saturday. I think the polls will both post on Friday, and I think you'll have till like Sunday afternoon to like do them if you're a patron. So go in there and vote, and we'll see. Oh, also,
according to what people are saying, though, hold on. What people are saying is that Shudder is available in Australia this week.
Yeah, I heard that it just got available there.
Sydney Lee, Sydney Lane read Mammoth Mountain and liked it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
awesome.
Going on.
Also, I wanted to give a shout out to Lynx13. I don't know if she's here in the comments. She was here yesterday, I think, who became our newest patron yesterday. So thank you very much, Lynx13, if you're out there watching. But yeah, I think that's probably all. Oh, I also want to say too that we finally got around to watching the last episode of High Score. Because remember, we talked about it like a couple days ago, but we'd only seen like the first.
The last episode was good.
I think that was maybe, I don't know. They were all the episodes were pretty good, but I think the last one was probably the best one because they were talking about the transition from 2D graphics to 3D graphics. So they talked about Castle Wolfenstein and Doom and and Sky Fox and Star Fox rather. On Nintendo, like how they figured out. It was funny how they figured out how to do 3D. It's like almost all of it was done by 18-year-olds who were like hacking into the fucking. It's like opening the shit and
Nintendo,
fucking around with stuff.
Nintendo called them to Japan. They thought they were probably going to get sued or something. Turned out they wanted to know how they did that on a fucking Game Boy.
On the Game Boy, yeah.
And that they hired them, gave them a contract. Then they segregated them from the rest of the Japanese staff, put them over on it. Just
put them down in the basement or whatever.
These
two British kids.
They're not gonna put Westerners around Japanese fucking office workers. The fucking bad habits will rub off on them.
It probably will. Probably they were much older too, I would think. But yeah, so they talked extensively to the guy that that invented Doom. That's just one of the guys. It was actually two guys, but I guess they couldn't get an interview with the other guy that had figured out all the coding and stuff. But it's like, because they're not only the ones that figured out how to do, you know, Castle Wolfenstein and Doom and all that, like in the 3D environment, like with all the textures and everything. But they also figured out, before they did that, they also figured out how to do smooth side-scrolling on a PC. Because that was not a thing. Because they said, you know, on Nintendo, obviously when they play Mario, like it was, you know, the side-scrolling was very, you know, fluid. But they're like, on a PC, it used to be, and I had totally forgotten about this. It was like one screen and then it went chunk. It went like that, like as you moved over. Just like in,
there's a fucking Activision game called Pitfall on Atari, the original Atari. Remember that?
Yeah.
You're just running Pitfall.
Yeah,
and evidently the whole fucking Mario side-scrolling thing was fucking proprietary fucking secret of how they fucking programmed that. Took a while for somebody to figure it out.
Well, no, the guy, the kid that figured it out was like 18 or 19 years old. He figured it out in one night how to do it on a PC.
Yeah, but how to do it on PC.
Yeah.
But the reason why that happened is because fucking Nintendo wouldn't tell anybody how they fucking did that.
Right. Well, yeah, so that's like, well, a lot of companies are like that. If they figure out one thing, that's like proprietary information. Right. You can't like figure it out. Karin asked me, can you make a playlist for Witching Hour? Yes, I can. Did you steal my pen?
No, yeah.
Yeah, you did. I was like, I'm sitting there going, where the fuck's my pen? Okay, I will write that down right now. A Witching Hour list. And I'll post it somewhere. I might not do it today, but I'll do it sometime this week, I promise. But yeah,
Listen to Jenny to read stories while you've fallen asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All my creepy stories. Yeah. It's like I'm running out of my own stories. I probably got to do more like. Here, just take that one because don't use my one.
Cussing you out. Don't cuss me.
I didn't cuss you.
Don't cuss me.
I just said don't use my pen that I'm actually trying to use to write with.
Okay.
All right, you ready to wrap it up? You didn't even see this movie. You didn't even see this movie.
I have not tried Fallout 76. Actually, I heard that it sucked. Unless they fixed it.
You like Fallout? You got Fallout New Vegas, and you got.
I got Fallout 4, Fallout New Vegas. I got Fallout 3, and I've never fucking played. I haven't finished Fallout 4. I'm still playing it. There's a lot of shit I need to do. I haven't done all the expansion stuff, like we're going out to the island. I did Nuka World. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember. You don't play that quite as much as you used to.
No,
because you used to play it all the time.
Been out of it lately.
You've been going
and
back.
Then I fucking bought all the old Doom games I could get off of fucking Xbox One, because you could get like Doom shit.
Doom
shit. Yeah. There's a brand new Doom I don't have. The one before I have it. And then I got all the old ones, the original Dooms, all the fucking. I even got the original Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Got that. I got the entire Williams arcade. I got all the fucking Sega. I got Sega Genesis, the whole arcade, fucking on Xbox One. A lot of those retro games are there. I got some Neo Geo games I used to play in the arcade. I got them on there. Like, I think it's called 1945 or something. There's just a bunch of. Although what's funny is that they're not quite as fun as they were.
Nothing is.
No. No.
When you get old.
They've kind of lost the mystique. You know what I'm talking about? You know more about video games now.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I remember this game. You put up with it for a little bit, but you just don't care. Like Joust. You can play Joust a little bit, but then after about 15 minutes, you don't care.
Yeah.
You know the game's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to do that shit forever.
I used to go over to the convenience store next to my grandma's house and play that.
Yeah.
He had two video games in the back room.
I even have discs of Tron, which I loved that with the original controls, but to try to play it on a fucking Xbox controller, it's not the same.
Well, see, that's the thing. I played so many games in the arcade, and then I played them on Nintendo and Sega to a lesser extent. Like, I played Sonic the Hedgehog a lot when it came out and stuff. But it's been so long since I played a video game on a console that it would take me a really long time. I can't even figure, because we watch movies and and shit on the Xbox. So it's like I can't even remember all the fucking buttons and triggers and shit on the like what they do on that. It took me
control the movies.
It took me like for fucking ever to figure that out. Well, because everything is different. Like if you're watching Shudder, like or if you're watching YouTube, or if you're watching Tubi, or if you're watching a Blu-ray, it's like the buttons do slightly different things, like depending on what you're doing. So it's like I can never really remember. So it's like, and I keep pushing the trigger and being like, oh fuck, what did I do? And then it's so I don't know. I don't know if I just have the time or the inclination to. It's like I watch you play Fallout and stuff, and I'm like, that looks kind of fun. Like maybe I should get into that, but it's like I just don't have the time or the inclination to like figure out how to use the controller, and then I would probably just play it and not get anything else done, and then I would be mad at myself.
Dominic's saying that Fallout 76 is fucking fixed now, but I think you have to have a fucking live internet connection. You have to fucking subscribe to it. I don't think it's like the rest of the Fallouts where you can just fucking play it. I think it's multiplayer. I think it's like in a multiplayer universe.
Not. It's like up in the cloud.
Yeah.
I feel like everything's kind of going that way, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I like to actually be the only one in there.
Yeah, it's like I don't want a bunch of random motherfuckers like
fucking
running around my game world. Get the fuck out.
Yeah. I don't want you here. I just want robots in here. Yeah.
It's like I don't want to be in the real world anyway.
Yeah,
it's like that's like kind of the whole point.
Yeah.
I don't want a bunch of real people walking around and they're playing with me. God damn it. That was another thing that they talked about too on that last episode of High Score was the advent of multiplayer, which was also the guys that did Wolfenstein and Doom. That was the first, because you couldn't. They said you could before that you can only do multiplayer like if it was a real simple game like chess, or if there were games where people had to take turns. You know what I mean? Because everybody had modems back then.
Yeah.
So those guys also were the first ones to figure out how to do actual like multiplayer where there were two people and you could shoot at each other and shit like that, and it would like work in real time.
He's saying it's free on Game Pass and you can play on your own. Yeah, maybe I'll check it out. Maybe I'll check it out. There's another one that fucking upon release they really fucked it up. Everybody hated it, but then they went back and fixed it, and it was fucking great. But I can't get it on Xbox One anymore, and that was Aliens: Colonial Marines.
That looks like a kick-ass game.
Yeah, when it first came out, fucking it frustrated people because it had a lot of glitches and everybody it bombed. But I got it through Steam. I was playing it on a fucking little laptop that I had at the time, and I was having fucking fun with it, multiplayer with a bunch of other guys in there. We were defending ourselves from this fucking wave after wave of these fucking alien of xenomorphs, and we had the fucking automatic fucking guns. We'd set them up just right and fucking get the weapons that we wanted, and we would just really barricade ourselves into one room and just defend one door. Was one of the things we were trying to do. But you had to go out to go get shit in between waves, so sometimes it wouldn't work out that way. But I really liked the single player and the multiplayer on Aliens: Colonial Marines. They need to fucking re-release that. That'd be really good.
I just heard that there was now this could be like totally wrong, but I just heard that there was a new game or a newish game that just came out that was like Lovecraft based, like another new Lovecraft one.
I haven't looked. I don't know about it.
Like I said, I'm not big up on stuff, so it's usually if I'm on a blog that's other like entertainment, like music and movies and stuff, sometimes they'll like talk about new video game releases, and so I'll see it out of the corner of my eye. But I thought there was like a new Lovecraft thing, and I was like, oh, that sounds intriguing, because like I said, I always kind of I like horror based games, like scary games,
Yeah,
I always felt like I should get into
not very many of them though.
I know, which is weird, because I don't know, I always kind of thought maybe I should get into like Silent Hill or something like that, because that looked kind of creepy. Whatever happened with that game that you were supposed to be able to play on your phone that was supposed to like make your house into like a haunted house? Like you would go through your house, like, and look at the fucking phone and then be like fucking scary shit popping out at you and you had to like kill it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened with that?
I don't know.
I hadn't heard about that for a couple of years, because I was like, oh, that looks badass. That looks like really fun. We can creep around the house and play that shit.
I'm gonna see if we go into another lockdown, maybe I'll bite the bullet and invest in Xbox. The Xbox One, I really like it. Yeah, you might as well get it. The lockdowns are going to be from here on out, rest of your life. They're going to try. They're going to try it. They're going to try it. Oh yeah, watch. It benefits them. It would help them reduce the population, and all their schemes are falling apart anyway. And so they're just trying to adjust to the new economic realities of a society in which people just stay home forever, and they just bring shit to your door, like the Matrix. Instead of being a damn pod With a virtual reality, you're just in your house watching a damn screen. That's what they want. That way, they don't want you running around driving cars and fucking up their atmosphere and having too many children, and they don't want you drinking, and there's no reason for these cities. A city is a future dead mall. It's going to go just like those malls. That's all a city is a mall. That's what it is. And then, the commercial real estate, there's no reason for commercial real estate. New York's falling apart because it's mostly commercial real estate. You don't have to go to work. You do that shit from home. And then the company makes more profit because they don't have to fucking rent that building. And they found out this is true. It's not Tom talking out his fucking ass. These companies looked at the bottom line and they found out that employee productivity went up when they stayed home to work. Not down, it went up.
Well, and then they told them that was going to happen.
Yeah, and then they realized, well, shit, then why are they here? And why do we have this building? So then they, bonk, a huge amount of their fucking overheads would vanish if they could get rid of that fucking office building. Office buildings are fucking obsolete. And when those office buildings go away, guess what goes away? Everything that's downtown. You say, well, why would that go away? The mall was a small replacement for downtown. It was downtown but covered with AC in it. That's what it is. Amazon destroyed that. Now high bandwidth and everyone able to stream and to do everything from home will get rid of that downtown area. Urban fucking living is going to be a thing of the past. Everything's going to go exurbs, suburbs, and rural because you'll save money. You can have that big downtown New York job and fucking be working it in a fucking Mississippi where you're fucking spending $350 a month on rent for a giant house. Why the fuck would you need to go to New York? So all of the fucking opportunities are now democratized. Doesn't matter where you are. And the system's trying to figure out how to handle that. Because a lot of rich people are going to lose their fucking ass. And that's what all this panic's about. Okay, I'm getting off my soapbox. They're just getting what...
No, you're not.
I'm going to finish it and wrap it up this way, people. They're getting what they deserve. That's what's happening. They're just getting what they deserve. Okay.
But you should say, well, how we got off on that was Xbox. Well, the Xbox, I actually, like I said, I don't play video games, but it's actually really useful for other shit too. I mean, we watch Blu-rays on it. I watch Shudder on it. I watch Tubi on it. I watch YouTube on it. I watch everything on it. So, you can use it for other shit too. And you can play games on it. It's super fun. You can rent movies through there and all that shit.
My friend Steve, who is a fucking biochemist from the University of Michigan and shit, motherfucker's a genius, all right? He's worked for drug companies. He has his own software company doing flight simulations and everything. He just had a kid, and he was just saying that about schools. There's no reason for a school. You know what I mean? If you can do public school from home streaming, then that means you can do a private school from home streaming. And those fucking teachers' unions are gonna shit a fucking brick when they realize that they're all out of jobs. They're gonna go the way of AMC. Everyone will be able to get a badass education of their choice right across the internet. And it won't matter because these degrees and shit, they won't matter because those were only for big corporations and jobs and shit, and that's all vanishing. Everyone's gonna fucking make their own living from home. It'll be just like it's gonna be just like in the fucking medieval era after the fall of fucking serfdom. You have all the serfs just fucking making proto-capitalism at home by making little products and selling it from their home. But now they have the world as their marketplace because of this bandwidth. It's just a game changer. People have not really wrapped their minds around how much the world has just changed in the past couple months. This is not going back.
Yeah, I mean, it's changed a lot.
It was going to happen anyway.
Yeah, shit'll shake out. In some ways, it's probably,
for the better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good that everybody had to get a disease for that to happen, but it's like, it's better maybe in the sense that it was going that way anyway, and it's the fact that it happened faster, and it's like ripping off a Band-Aid kind of.
Yeah, they're ripping that Band-Aid off. This is moving us, this past few months of this pandemic has moved us into the future another decade. It made it all a reality. If that didn't happen, a lot of that stuff, it would have taken it another decade for it to slowly decline, I think. Because the banks would have kept pumping money into these loser businesses like AMC, thinking that would come back. That's gone. The future is streaming.
I just got an email that they had reopened. Actually,
it's gone.
I'm just saying.
It's gone. They were in debt and they were fucking struggling before the pandemic. All right. Now when they find out now that these movie studios find out that they can make just as much money just by releasing it online, okay, with less overheads, all right, that they'll be able to make money that way. Those studios are going to struggle and then fail. AMC will struggle and fail from here on out.
Yeah, Oracle says I've worked from home for about 20 years. I actually worked from home prior to this, like for several years prior to this. I believe summer of 2016 I got laid off. Yeah. So I started working from home then. Just doing I stole some of the clients from like the old graphic design place I used to work. And so I just
lived off that.
Freelance clients, lived off that, and unemployment. Then my unemployment ran out a couple months later. And so then we just started doing the show, and I started trying to sell my books, and had a couple like rough times in there, but it shook out. The
show, the books, shirts, everything slowly kind of worked out. I would say she might be making a little bit because she gets all the show money. I give all the show money to her. It all goes bills anyway.
Well, yeah, we buy bills and I buy stuff for the show, like right, you know what I mean.
And so I would think that you're probably making a little bit more than you were when you worked for other people. You're definitely happier.
Yeah. It's nice. It's nice not having to get up and go someplace like in the morning that I don't necessarily.
Or having a boss breathing down your neck, or now you're not worried about losing a job because you have your own job.
Yeah.
You know, so you're not dependent on other people. It's just a better way to go. I mean, and you can do it with anything. I mean, they got guys putting together models of the goddamn Starship Enterprise and putting fucking LED effects in them and painting them and making 5 of them at a time and selling them fuckers off the internet for $700-800 a piece. You know what I mean? That's fucking $5,000 a month. Making the Starship Enter fucking prize.
Well, yeah, as long as you got people out there that'll pay for them. I mean, you know.
So you got to take something you like to do and learn how to fucking turn that into a living. I mean, you get. I'm an old school fucking salesman. You give me an internet connection, I'll figure out some kind of way to make money. I'll just sell something.
Yeah.
I'll go around and fucking find garbage and sell that shit put that shit up on an eBay store. Look at that shit. It's a fine work of art.
Make some toast with Jesus faces
Make
on
toast
it.
With Jesus. Well, there's a lot of fucking vintage. If you got a good eye for it, you go, man, that's a fucking vintage clothes. Man, that's vintage lucite lamp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those old hippie people that like that shit from the old 60s and shit, trying to recreate some of that vintage look and shit. I'll sell that shit for $100. Man, I was looking up lucite. They had dudes that wanted thousands of dollars for those lucite lamps.
Yeah. And everybody used to have them.
These days, just junk.
Well, now it's like kitsch, you know?
So, yeah, it's kitschy shit.
And if you want to do like a retro look, you kind of want like the fucking real thing.
Yeah.
And honestly, like sometimes if you want to do like, you know, like a period piece movie that's like set back in the 70s or something like that, you would need to buy that shit to like dress your sets, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
There's just so many opportunities out there if you've got the right mindset.
Yeah. And then Oracle says, plus I get to play with our cats occasionally during the day. Yeah, see, we are home with Pookie all the time, so she doesn't miss us. She doesn't, you know. She gets like the...
Oracle Mom says she loves it because no more pantyhose.
Yeah.
I thought Oracle Mom was a man. That might be a man. A man with pantyhose.
Nobody likes pantyhose.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Mega Badger says, I can say in all honesty, I've loved working from home and my quality of life really improved. Yeah, it's like, I really, it's something I always wanted to do. Like I said, it's still work, and I work a lot more hours than I used to. I mean, it used to be that I would work 8, 9 hours, 10 hours, and then come home and be like, fuck it, I don't want to think about work anymore. And now it's more like 10 to 12 hours. Yeah. And then like in the evenings, like a lot of times we're watching movies to review or documentaries about like the topic that we're going to do next week. So we're kind of working all the time, mostly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not really usually, but most of the time it's like I'm doing shit I enjoy. Like, you know, I'm reviewing books, so I have to read a book that I'm going to review, which I like and I would have done anyway. The movies that we're watching, most of them are movies we would have watched anyway. So, you know, it's not
Dominic's going, he's an engineer. He can't work from home. Yeah, there's going to be certain jobs that are infrastructure people. They have to go out there with their hands and go fix shit. And that's good, though, because those kind of people will be even more valuable What I'm mostly talking about this working from home shit is the white collar stuff and creative people. It's all going to be from home.
Yeah.
The white collar jobs they're out. They're not going to exist in the same form that they exist now. It's not going to look like that. That came from a 1940s, 1930s, 50s mentality where you had to show up and you had a physical supervisor making sure everybody fucking worked. And that kind of, you don't need that anymore.
Yeah.
That's actually inefficient. Now they have to commute to and from. It's extra energy expended, you know what I mean, and money and wasted time. They can do that work from home.
Yeah, Oracle said my husband would be surprised to hear he's been married to a man for so long.
Yeah.
Especially because our anniversary is next week. Yes, congratulations.
Married to a man.
Celtic Angel says, I wish I could work from home, but at least I work night shift. I actually used to work night shift at a newspaper, and I actually really like that because it's much nicer not having like tons of people around, not having managers around. It was just kind of us and the creative department and the dudes that ran the press, and that was it. So it was like nice, and a couple of like cleaners and stuff. Yeah. So it was like really nice in this big like creepy building.
Yeah, it's funny because people are still listening to. She worked for a newspaper, and people still listen to newspapers and the news agencies. The Gray Lady and everything. Those things are just a fucking hollow shell of what they once were. Those buildings are mostly empty, and they're not running on a skeleton crew because news is obsolete. What do you need newscasters for? People are fucking posting shit right off their phones of what happened right on the damn YouTube. You don't need somebody to tell you what happened. You can see what happened. So the whole game's changed. Yeah. The whole game's changed. But and what's funny is news is just selling a narrative anyway. Whatever their client wants the story to be, that's how they'll spin it. So fuck all that, man. Like those riots. I was watching the fucking riots and the shooting that happened at the riots last night in that little fucking town somewhere. I can't even pronounce it. It started with a K. I don't need anybody to tell me that fucking they ran up on that dude and he blasted 3 of them. I saw it. It's funny, you know what I mean? And I didn't find out about that through CNN or MSNBC. I found out about it from a YouTuber that mentioned it. So, and that YouTuber has fucking over 1 million fucking followers. And in his hit, he gets nearly 1 million hits per video. That's far bigger than fucking CNN and MSNBC, what they get per hour. So it's just, the game has fucking changed. The old way of doing things is gone, It's social media now. That's what's driving everything. And a good thing. This is now the open square. It's the people's media. It's the town square. It's freedom of press. Each person is a reporter. And that's what a free press is about. Okay.
Glenn asked, is it your birthday now or soon, Jenny? My birthday is actually September 26th. Yeah. So it's a month from today, actually. And as I said, over that weekend, that's when the Strange Realities online conference is going to be. I'm not sure what my time slot is, but it's going to be sometime. I don't know if it's the 25th, the 26th, or the 27th, but I'm given like an hour presentation at that. So, I run the commercials for it sometimes during the main shows, and we also have the commercial on our channel. Yeah. So if you have like I said, I don't know if like Shudder Australia has this movie or not, because I know that the movies between like Australia, UK, and US are different. But
unless you have a VPN.
Yeah, like I said, unless you have a VPN, then you can probably watch whatever fucking Shudder you want, because But I really, really liked this one. So if you watch it and you liked it too, or if you didn't like it, just tell me what you thought of it. I just really dug it, and I can't really exactly put my finger on why I liked it so much. It was probably like a combination of things, but I don't know. I thought it was really good. So we're probably not going to. We'll stream again on Saturday night. Our regular big episode should kind of be a fun one. We're doing more. I guess it's kind of true crime, but it's like a historical.
Which one is this?
I'm not gonna tell you.
You're not gonna tell me?
I'm not gonna tell you. I'll tell. Well, I mean, I'll tell you
tell
later.
Me, but not that.
I'm not gonna.
I didn't know what you chose.
It's a surprise.
I didn't know what you chose. Okay.
Well, this is gonna be the last one that is not gonna be like a poll choice. You know what I mean? Like after this one, all of the subsequent ones are gonna be like poll, because I'm crowdsourcing the topics. I'm just going to give like 5 topics and people can vote on what ones they want us to do. All right, so we will, tomorrow Witching Hour goes up, Friday movie retrospective goes up, and then we will see you guys again live on Saturday, probably at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as usual. So until then, we will talk to you later. Bye.